You know how in school they always told us to avoid the passive voice, like at all costs? Well, it turns out that's not the whole story. The passive voice is actually a secret weapon for professional communication. So forget those old rules for a minute. We're about to unlock how you can use it to sound more confident and, yeah, way more diplomatic at work.
Yeah, exactly. Get this. This isn't just about grammar, it's a strategic tool. Native speakers use it all the time to sound more professional, more diplomatic, and sometimes even a little mysterious. It's really all about controlling the message.
So what are these secret uses, right? I mean, how can a simple grammatical structure have so much power? That is exactly what we are going to break down right now. Let's dive in.
First up, we're going to do a super quick refresher just to get us all on the same page. I promise this will be painless and fast. 30 seconds, let's go.
The formula is dead simple. It's just a form of the verb to be plus the past participle of the main verb. You know, things like was written, is deployed, will be fixed. That's it. Seriously, that's the whole core structure.
Now check out the shift on this slide. In the active voice, the team released the update. The focus is totally on the team, the one doing the action. But switch it to passive, the update was released, and boom, the focus instantly jumps to the update itself, to the result.
And that right there, my friends, is the entire secret. The shift in focus from who did it to what happened, that's the key that unlocks every single technique we're about to cover. Remember this. This is the foundation for everything else.
All right, now for the main event. Let's open up your professional toolkit. We're going to look at 5 distinct ways you can use the passive voice to seriously level up your communication at work.
First up is what I like to call the objectivity lens. This is your go-to tool when the result is just way more important than who actually did the work. It takes the person right out of the equation and puts all the focus squarely on the outcome.
You see this all the time in a professional tech environment, and a report saying the issue was resolved is just direct and efficient. In a stand-up meeting, the new API was deployed tells everyone what they need to know. And in an email, your request has been processed is clear, it's neutral, and it's professional. It's not about who did it, it's about the fact that it is done. See the difference?
Okay, our next tool is the diplomacy shield. And this slide shows its power perfectly. Instead of saying something direct and honestly kind of accusatory like, you made a mistake, which immediately puts someone on the defensive, you can just say, a mistake was made. The problem is still identified, but you've masterfully removed the personal blame. It's a total game changer.
Here's another perfect example. Imagine you're updating a client or your manager. Some delays were experienced is such a great way to state a fact without pointing fingers. It's like the source material says, it's not really anyone's fault, it's just something that happened. This is diplomacy in action, and it keeps the conversation focused on solutions, not on blame.
Our third tool is all about the formal tone. In academic or really technical writing, the passive voice gives this air of authority and objectivity. It almost makes it sound like the data is speaking for itself. You'll see this everywhere, from research papers saying the model was trained, to API documentation and formal product updates. It just creates that professional distance.
Okay, now for a slightly more advanced move, combining the passive voice with modal verbs like must, can, or should. This creates what the source calls a professional control tone. And just look at these examples. The bug must be fixed is a command, but it's impersonal. This feature can be accessed, defines a rule objectively, and the issue should have been tested, reflects on a process, not a person's screw-up. It's a very, very powerful combo.
And our final tool is the common knowledge signal. This is a subtle little structure that you'll hear native speakers use all the time. Using phrases like it is said or it is known lets you introduce an idea as a generally accepted fact or opinion without having to name a specific source. It's a slick move.
And here's a great kind of funny example to make the point. It is known that JavaScript developers never sleep. Obviously, this is a joke, right? But it shows you how you can use this structure to introduce a common belief or even an inside joke within a community in a really natural-sounding way. It's a subtle but super effective technique.
Okay, so we've just added some seriously powerful tools to your communication toolkit. But, and this is a big but, like any power tool, you have to know when and how to use it safely. The passive voice is not a one-size-fits-all solution.
The most crucial point is this: do not overuse it.
A document that's just filled with passive sentences can sound really cold, robotic, and honestly, pretty confusing. It can make it unclear who's responsible for what, which is the exact opposite of what you want most of the time.
So the key is to be strategic. Use the passive voice when you specifically want to create a formal tone, maintain professional distance, or put all the emphasis on the results. For most of your other daily communication, a clear, direct, active voice is still going to be your best friend.
And all this brings us to the final takeaway. It's not about active being good and passive being bad. It's about making a conscious, professional choice based on what you're trying to achieve.
So I want to leave you with this final, really thought-provoking question from the source material. The next time you're writing an email or a report, just stop for a second and ask yourself, what's my goal here? Do I want to sound responsible by saying, I fixed the bug? Or do I want to sound professional by saying the bug was fixed? The answer to that question will tell you exactly which tool to use. Now you have the power to choose.